Trump recently announced the creation of a crypto strategic reserve, and you'll never believe the tokens that he's saying will be included. In this video, I'm going to be diving into all the details of the announcement, including the tokens that Trump has announced will be included in this strategic reserve. Spoiler alert, it's not just Bitcoin. Details on the upcoming White House Crypto Summit. This is the first ever event to be focused on crypto at the White House. It's going to be led by Donald Trump, and there's supposed to be some pretty insane announcements coming out of this thing. So we're going to speculate on what those announcements could be and kind of what this White House Crypto Summit means for the crypto space as a whole. Lastly, we're going to speculate a little bit on what other crypto tokens might get included on this crypto strategic reserve. As a part of the announcement, Trump said that there's more to come. There's going to be more tokens that are going to be included in this crypto strategic reserve. So we're going to speculate a little bit on what those tokens might be. Keep in mind, this is just my personal thoughts on crypto markets, crypto tokens. None of this is investment advice, and you should always do your own research. Okay, on Sunday, March 2nd, Donald Trump, the United States president, made a post that I think is going to easily go down in crypto history as one of the most insane posts we have ever seen. Really, like, given my entire time in the crypto space since 2017, I've never seen anything like this, not even close. A U.S. crypto reserve will elevate this critical industry after years of corrupt attacks by the Biden administration, which is why my executive order on digital assets directed the Presidential Working Group to move forward on a crypto strategic reserve that includes XRP, SOL, and ADA. I will make sure the US is the crypto capital of the world. We are making America great again. Okay, so when I read this, I think like most people, I was legitimately just utterly shocked. And I wasn't the only one. The entire timeline on X was literally just on fire with people losing their minds, not on the fact that we were getting a crypto strategic reserve, but on the fact that this strategic reserve specifically was going to be made up of seemingly Solana, XRP, and Cardano. This tweet from Will Baxter says the US government using taxpayer money to buy XRP, an asset where Ripple controls over 50% of the circulating supply, is pure insanity. Trump needs to understand the gravity of this mistake before it's too late. Who's advising him on this? Naval said the US taxpayer should not be exit liquidity for cryptocurrencies that are decentralized in name only. Cameron Winklevoss wrote, "While I'm excited about a strategic reserve, I was surprised by the digital assets being contemplated. Bitcoin is the only asset that meets the bar for a store value reserve asset, maybe Ethereum, digital gold, and digital oil, which mirrors America's physical reserves of gold, Fort Knox, and oil strategic petroleum reserve. It's possible other assets could make the grade in the future, but it's a very high bar." And there were literally hundreds of these kinds of posts all over X. People were losing their minds that it was SOL, XRP, and Cardano. And honestly, I was shocked too. And this all caused such a stir, and people were so upset at this that Trump was forced to do a follow-up post to respond to all of the craziness and drama that this kind of ignited all over X. And in this post, he quoted his original post. So it's like a response to his original post. And this was Trump's response. Obviously, Bitcoin and ETH, as other valuable cryptocurrencies, will be at the heart of the reserve. I also love Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, this second update completely changes things. Where the first announcement was saying we were getting these random 2017 alts plus Solana that were going to make up our crypto strategic reserve. Seemingly, this seems that's what everyone thought it was saying. The second one clarified that wasn't the case. We were getting a crypto strategic reserve that was going to include Bitcoin. It was going to include Ethereum. Plus, it was going to include a basket of different alts. And it seems like it's different alts that are based out of the US. So the companies that launched those tokens are based out of the US. And my personal thought is that this is absolutely unhinged bullish for alts and utility tokens as a whole. I've been talking about this for the past couple months, how I believe that the market is going to eventually shift back to alts. It's going to eventually shift back to utility tokens. And think about it in this context. 6 months ago, people were losing their minds that we might get a Bitcoin strategic reserve. So they were saying, hey, we might get a Bitcoin strategic reserve in the US. It sounds like Trump's saying that he wants to do that. if we got a Bitcoin strategic reserve, we would have the bull market to end all bull markets, because now the US government would be buying Bitcoin, and that would have like a drip down effect into all the alts and everything else like that. And consider along with this that like Bitcoin is huge. It's a multi-trillion-dollar asset. So the amount of capital you need to come into Bitcoin to move the needle as far as price-wise is a lot. You need a lot of money to come into Bitcoin to send the price higher, where most alts are significantly smaller. So it doesn't take very much capital coming into the alts to move them significantly higher. So originally everyone's thinking, Bitcoin strategic reserve, if Trump actually did that, we're gonna have the bull market to end all bull markets. And then fast forward to today, not only are we getting the Bitcoin strategic reserve, we're gonna have Bitcoin as a strategic asset held by the US government, but we're getting a crypto strategic reserve. It's going to hold Bitcoin, it's going to hold Ethereum, and it's going to hold a basket of alts. And as we know, Bitcoin can go up, and that doesn't necessarily mean the alts go up. Like alts don't necessarily follow Bitcoin's price. They kind of loosely do, but they're not as correlated. When ETH goes up, there's a lot more correlation. Like that has a lot more of a trickle down effect into the alts, and we see a lot more action in the alts. So first off, even if it had just been like Bitcoin and ETH, we're going to be included in this strategic reserve, that would have been insanely bullish for alts. But on top of that, not only is it Bitcoin and ETH, but we're literally getting alts being held in a strategic reserve. And if you actually go back and read the post now, knowing that when he said, it's going to include Solana, or that it includes Solana, XRP, and Cardano, and he's leaving out tokens like Bitcoin and ETH, it does seem to hint that it's simply including Solana, XRP, and Cardano, but there is more to come. And based off of past posts by Trump, based on past posts and kind of rhetoric from him and his administration, it seems like that's going to be different tokens that are made in America, or what Trump calls made in America, obviously. But it's like crypto companies that are founded in America that launch tokens. They're going to get to be a part of this reserve and have some sort of weighting in the reserve. Seems like the direction that they're going. So there's a high chance that we're going to actually see a lot more tokens besides just these ones eventually included in this crypto strategic reserve. And that would honestly make a lot more sense. So we're getting a crypto strategic reserve. It's going to include Bitcoin, it's going to include Ethereum, and it's going to include a basket of some alts for sure, but potentially a basket of a lot of different alts that are projects based here in the US. And if it was already like jaw-dropping, insane, giga bullish for alts to have a Bitcoin strategic reserve in the US, what does it mean if we're having a crypto strategic reserve that's going to include Ethereum and actually include alts in the strategic reserve? I don't even have words to describe how insanely like foaming at the mouth bullish that is for alts and for an alt season eventually happening. The US government is going to be buying Ethereum and altcoins. This wasn't on anyone's bingo cards. Even the most like insane conspiracy theorist, insane YouTuber, TikTok bullish, crazy predictions did not factor in even a remote 0.5% chance that the US government will be putting altcoins on their balance sheet. Like nobody predicted that. And if the US government is holding altcoins on their balance sheet, what kind of social signal is that to Wall Street? Is that into pension funds, 401ks, investments, advisors all over the country? Not only does that mean you have a higher likelihood of like regulators approving more ETFs, Wall Street issuing more, various crypto products outside of just Bitcoin and Ethereum, but also just in general, it makes it way more likely that people are investing in other cryptos outside of just Bitcoin and ETH, that you see more investment outside of that. Because if the US government holds it on their balance sheet, then that is the green light for everyone to go hold it on their balance sheet. And I also think it creates a set of incentives globally for other countries to somewhat follow in a similar fashion. Overall, though, if you kind of just take a step back and think of the psychology of how this effect plays out, if you have tokens like Cardano, XRP, Solana, Ethereum going up, what are the second and third order effects of that? Where people who missed out, they're like, I should have been in XRP, I should have been in Cardano, should have been in Solana, Ethereum, whatever. I missed that trade. But maybe these other tokens are going to get added to the crypto strategic reserve, or maybe these other tokens are going to go up next. And so they start looking at things that are similar and related. They're not going to look at meme coins because those are not similar and related. But they're going to look at things like, with XRP, maybe look at XLM. Maybe look at other 2017 tokens that took off. Maybe they look at things like Maker or Uniswap or Tron, or you get the idea, like things that they think in their head are comparable assets or that seem similar. And then they work their way down the stack. So, if they're looking at Uniswap skyrockets, maybe they're like, okay, Uniswap's up. What's the next kind of DEX-like play to go up? Now, one thing that's really struck me about this Trump presidency over the last Trump presidency is it seems like, I don't know if I'm the only one that's noticed this, but it seems like Trump is more bullish and he talks about more crypto this time around than he does stocks. And if you guys remember back in 2016, during Trump's first 4 years, he tweeted about the stock market all the time. He was always talking about the stock market. He was kind of judging his presidential success based on how successful the stock market was. And so everyone kind of assumed he would do that again this time. But he hasn't really talked that much about the stock market. And it's felt like to me that he's talked a lot more about crypto than he has stocks. And I wanted to see if maybe this was just my bias, because I maybe noticed his crypto content and I don't really notice his stock content. So I actually went back and I looked through all his posts. And I also did I ran it through AI and did a bunch of other stuff to try to figure out how many posts he did on talking about crypto and how many posts he did talking about stocks. And what I found was he's posted about stocks around 3 to 4 times. So it kind of depends on what you classify him talking about stocks, but it's around 3 to 4 times. And he's posted about crypto around 6 to 8 times. Again, depending on what you classify as him talking about crypto, it's around 6 to 8 times. It's also the case that when he's talking about crypto, he's going into a lot more depth. He's being really explicit. He's being really intentional when he's talking about crypto, where a lot of his mentions of stocks have been a lot more shallow, a lot less in depth. So it does appear that Trump actually does talk about crypto more than he does the stock market this time around. And it's not even just him. On top of that, Eric Trump is constantly talking about crypto and it's time to buy ETH and traditional finance better catch up with crypto or it'll quickly become extinct. I saw a post literally this morning where he said, "You're welcome, my friend. Hopefully I made someone's life just a little bit better. Now my advice, hold, i.e. long term." And this was in response to him posting to buy the dips. He's become a full-on crypto influencer. I think all of this kind of broadly aligns with Trump's focus on innovation in the US and having US focused innovation. He wants to see the future of AI, the future of crypto, the future of energy build out, all of that built here within the US and not built abroad because that brings a lot of economic value with it. So I think on one hand, that's part of why he's focused so heavily on an emerging market like crypto. But on top of that, he's become a full-on crypto mogul with a World Liberty Fi, launching his own meme coin, the Molina meme coin, his NFT collection, and just a ton of other things. By the way, just to pause here, I always get these random, I don't know who these guys are, 50-year-old guys in the comments who throw a fit when I talk about Trump. They get hyper political on me. And just to be really clear, okay, my channel is about winning investing. And if you want to win investing, you cannot ignore the current president of the United States and the things he's doing, especially when he's massively focused on crypto. Overall, my channel is definitely not about politics, and I don't try to get political on my channel, but I do focus on the markets. I do focus on what's happening in crypto. I would be absolutely insane not to be talking about Trump and what he's doing, since a lot of what he's doing and a lot of his policy is dictating what's happening in the market and what's happening on the macro front. Now, I've got a ton more to dive into, including the other tokens that could be listed in this crypto strategic reserve. Again, Trump's hinted that there's going to be more tokens added to this crypto strategic reserve. So what might those be? We're going to do a little speculating on that. We're going to talk about the first ever upcoming White House summit on crypto and some of the teases as far as they've given out on the huge announcements that could potentially be coming with that White House summit. We're going to talk about, is China considering their own crypto reserve? There's a lot of people posting that on X, China's potentially considering their own crypto reserve. We're going to talk about the possibility of that being true, as well as a ton more. But really quick, the Obsidian Council is my private research community where I share monthly research, my entire portfolio, buy and sell alerts whenever I buy into a project, and more. We've had projects go up 1,100%, 1,200%. 1,500%, and some much more. I spend a lot of money to access a variety of newsletters, private groups, and more so I can get the best alpha in the market. And I share that alpha with the members of the Obsidian Council. Currently, the Obsidian Council is sold out and closed to new members. But if you want to join next time it opens up, make sure to join the waitlist in the description of this video. Okay, so we have the White House Summit coming out on March 7th. So it's literally just a couple days after I release this video. The White House Summit is going to be happening. This is going to be hosted by Donald Trump. It's the first ever White House crypto focused event. And they're going to be talking about how they can make the US the crypto capital of the world, as well as potentially revealing some more details about the crypto strategic reserve and maybe potentially unveiling some other assets that could be included in that, or maybe some of the qualifications to be included in that, which I'm going to talk about in just a second, what I think those qualifications are going to be. They're also going to be talking about regulations, how we do regulations right in the US, how to support the crypto markets and kind of foster innovation so people can feel like they can experiment. They have like clear rules of the road. And again, their focus is, how do we make the US the crypto capital of the world? Kind of like when we had the internet first launch and the US became like the internet startup capital of the world. How do we make sure that also happens with crypto? And there was an announcement from David Sachs, I think it was in a reply on X or something like that, where he said there's more to come at the Whitehouse Crypto Summit. And I don't know if that means there's more like tokens that are going to be announced or just like more big announcements. Again, that's happening March 7th, so keep an eye out. There's going to be a lot of details and hopefully announcements coming with that. Okay, so let's talk about what other tokens could end up being included in a crypto strategic reserve. But really quick, let me pull up this tweet from ethprofit.eth. He says, leaked reports are that the US crypto reserve will be 50% ETH, 30% Bitcoin, and 20% various coins. I don't know how accurate that is. My initial gut take is that doesn't seem very, it seems like Bitcoin would be the bigger of the two positions. But to be fair, I really couldn't have anticipated a lot of the things that have happened recently. So, maybe this is accurate. Either way, I think it's somewhat close to what ultimately will happen, which is you're going to have probably a bigger allocation into Bitcoin and ETH, and then like a smaller allocation into alts of some sort. And my gut take, based on different podcasts I've listened to where his administration's talked, different posts from David Sachs, posts from Trump, posts from Eric Trump, would be that these tokens that get included in the strategic reserve are going to be made in America tokens. And what that means for Trump is, again, he wants crypto to be, or the US to be the crypto capital of the world. He wants people to build their crypto companies in the US. And what better incentive than to say, if you build your company in the US, you have a chance to be included in this crypto strategic reserve, which is like the most bullish thing that could possibly happen for your token, is kind of the idea. And I would guess that there's a lot of projects that would relocate to the US if that was the case, because everyone's going to want to be a made in America coin at that point, because they're going to want to be included in that strategic reserve. So that would be my guess. These are going to be made in America tokens. All the tokens that are based from US based companies are going to be the ones included in this list. And if you look at the list already, we have XRP, US based, we have Cardano, US based, and we have Solana, US based. That would mean, as far as tokens that I talk about, that things like Akash is based out of Austin, Texas. It's definitely a very US based token, fits the bill. That would mean things like Research Coin. Research Coin is from Brian Armstrong. Brian Armstrong is a heavyweight in the space. I'm sure he'll be at the Crypto Summit. And Research Coin is supporting science, decentralized science in the US. That would make a perfect fit. Index is US based. Geode is US based. Pole is US based. And I could go on and on and on. There are a ton of different US based projects. And I imagine if they make this announcement, there's going to be a ton more US based projects. And again, those are just my bags. Okay, those are my bags. There are so many. There's like Avalanche is US based. Maker is US based. There are so many different projects that are US based that have the potential to be included on this list. And honestly, it doesn't matter if like your favorite project isn't included on that list. That isn't the bullish part. The bullish part is if any of these projects, if you have a range of these projects included on the list, people are going to be looking for beta plays. That's like that triggers an alt season. That triggers a wide jump into altcoins, because what's going to be the next token? There's rumors that this token is going to move to the US, and this token just announced they're moving to the US, all that kind of stuff. It would drive an all-out altcoin mania. It would be absolutely insane. Now, I've been seeing on X, there's a lot of rumors that China is going to be launching their own crypto strategic reserve. I don't know where these people get their information, but those have been like getting like hyper viral on X. I think it's absolutely absurd. I think there's a very low likelihood that China launches a crypto strategic reserve. I can see other countries doing it to attract crypto builders. I just feel like China would be really, really low on the list, considering that they've been, pretty hostile towards the crypto space. Anything's possible. I mean, they could definitely change their stance, but I would guess those rumors have likely no grounding. I couldn't find where they're getting their information. I've also seen a lot of takes, a lot of people posting that Trump's going to be announcing 0% taxes on all crypto trades within the US. And that's actually a long-standing rumor. So we've been seeing posts about that for a while, for a long time now. And I think there actually is some evidence to back this one up, that there might be something there. I don't know if it's going to be like 0% on all crypto trade. That would be insane. If he announced 0% taxes on crypto buys and sells, it would be literally like all crypto buys and sells. It would be literally unhinged. Like you could go invest in the stock market, but hey, sucks. You're going to have to pay some taxes. Or you can invest in crypto and there's no taxation whatsoever. That would be like absolutely unhinged. You would see so much liquidity pour into the space. Plus people wouldn't be losing their liquidity when they sell. It would just get crazy. What seems more likely to me is one of two outcomes. Either it's like something relating to Bitcoin and like buying things and like no tax if you spend it like a currency or something like that. Or it would be 0% tax on made in America coins for like a certain period of time, for like the next 5 years or whatever, 10 years, to attract more tokens, more projects to build in the US. If you buy or sell a made in America token, a crypto made in America, there's going to be no taxes on that. That also would be unhinged, foaming at the mouth, bullish for crypto as a space. And for alts, oh my gosh. Again, just think of the incentives. Think about how much incentive that puts in investing in the crypto as a whole because of the zero, like no taxation. Like you don't lose money to taxes. That's a huge bill for most people, a massive bill. When you're trading, billions and billions of dollars, if you make $1 billion investing in, the stock market and you go and sell that, you're going to be paying like $200 to $400 million in taxes. Now imagine if you invested in crypto and you didn't have to pay those taxes. Like how many more people are now going to be like, well, I could invest in stocks, but if I invest in crypto, I'm not going to have to pay taxes. And just like that one thing alone, they're going to invest in crypto. But again, think of all the other people that are like selling their crypto and buying and selling. And like normally all that liquidity would get poured into the US government into taxes, but now it isn't. Now they can just go reinvest it in other tokens. Again, right now, these are just rumors, but I would say there's more weight to those rumors. And definitely I would keep an eye on that because I think there's something there. Again, it might not be 0% taxes. Maybe it's just a tax cut of some sort for US based companies, or I don't know. But I do think there's something there because there's more substance to those rumors. Again, as always, none of this was investment advice. This is just my own personal thoughts and opinions, and you should always do your own research. Make sure to sign up for my free weekly crypto newsletter. It's mostly just all my content I put out each week in an easy email so you don't miss it. But occasionally I drop some other cool stuff in there as well, including sometimes I mention things I'm buying before I ever talk about it on my YouTube channel. Also, if you really want to dive deep, make sure to check out my weekly podcast, the 1 to 1 Million Podcast. I interview projects, talk about the markets, and interview various traders and experts in the crypto space. If this video was helpful, make sure to hit that like button. If you have any questions or comments, let me know in the comments down below. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the little bell next to it to be notified each time I release a new video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.